Everything is going extremely well.
And now, showtime.
Hey everybody, that is how we do it. Welcome to this week's live. We're going to cover the only Facebook ads retargeting strategy you need to know. So let's just get right into it. So what we've been talking about here at scale has been really the launch of Disruptor Academy. Again, check it out at school. And we did a whole video this week, and I'm gonna save some time today to really show all of the steps that we've taken to make this thing happen. Now, one of the things that's important when looking at numbers is understanding the impact of stuff. So if we remember correctly, if we want to go back here real quick, let's just get rid of the breakdown by day. What we've been using as our targeting audience here is we have been using our broad retargeting, right? Engagers, people that have followed us or engagers from the Instagram and Facebook and people who've been to the website in the last 30 days. And we've been scaling that audience and we've been doing fairly well, right? If we go back here, let's just say last 30 days, let's break down by week. Cool. Let's just get ourselves, let's just look at this one campaign so it doesn't get too crazy. And then let's do breakdown by week here. Awesome. So we can begin to look at what's going on. By the way, if you want to join Disruptor Academy, QR code on the screen right there. Fantastic. Go ahead and scan it. And if you're in Disruptor Academy, give a shout out. It's just so great to see all of you all here. And loving to see everyone. Bonjour to AC. Nice to see you, buddy. So if we look at this, looking at a 4PI, we went from 183 to 1,500 in a matter of weeks. Now, full disclosure, we have scaled back a little bit. And that's when one of the things I really want to talk about today. Yo, bro from down under. Good to see you. Nice. Look at everybody here. Great to see you. I was just getting off a call with somebody that one of our disruptor agency, one of our disruptor brand accelerator clients, who's a Facebook ads MBA program member, has hired us to really help them come to the States. So it was great to have a chat with somebody in New Zealand. Just landed a bunch of funding. They're going nuclear, bringing their brand to the States. And we're literally doing a go-to-market strategy. Yeah, buddy. Every Friday. We're doing a go-to-market strategy of basically bringing that business that's making millions in New Zealand, expanding them to Australia, but more importantly, bringing them to the United States. And we're going to do the exact same thing that we're talking about here because it works for info products, it works for SaaS companies, it works for lead generation, and it works for e-commerce. So talking about the only retargeting strategy you need, one of the things we talk about here more than anything lately has been all about broad retargeting. And what we're going to unpack today is the difference between broad retargeting. Shout out to New Zealand. There you go. The difference between broad retargeting and remarketing funnels and the customer journey. Because the honest truth is those are dramatically different things. Now, I want to just lay this out here real quick. From $180 bucks a week to $1,500 a week. Look at our CPMs here. Let's just zoom on in. Look at our frequency here. Yeah, it went up from 1.93 to 2.5. But remember, we're also scaling the audience that we're hitting in our broad retargeting. So this number is not going up that much. Now, yes, the CPM is rising, but so is the number of purchases. Now, if you're doing some quick math, you're like, man, at $180, you got 7, and at $1,500, you got 15. Yeah, because we were getting a lot of people who are probably already going to buy here, right? Like, this is not terribly incremental, but what's amazing is the fact we're scaling these people up. Now, mind you, for the unit economics here, if you join Disruptor Academy, it's $97 a month. So paying $150 for 15 people is okay because also these aren't all the people that joined. We actually got over 25 people that week. So remember, not all attribution, not all sales are completely attributed. The school purchase pixel is also not 100% perfect. And we're going to get into how to set all of that stuff up. But you can see it's basically, it says that it's $139 to get an AOV of 97. I can tell you it's actually closer to 80 to get people for 97. So we're day one profitable on an MRR device. And we are gaining, I think we'll have We made $11,000 in billable from school in the first 3 weeks. 7,000 of that is rolling over to next month, which means on day one of next month, we're in the green. I could drop 4K and we would still be way ahead. But what I want to talk about today on this broad retargeting and the retargeting strategy, I just always want to be very transparent with what we're doing. Is the dramatic difference between broad retargeting and the remarketing funnel, and how ads ultimately work. So one of the things that we have to get into here is we were riding high on this one ad, right? And to be fair, we're still good. We went from $93 on this thing to $1,500. And we basically just scaled up everything. Our cost per purchase, yes, it went up, but it was still profitable day one on basically everybody. And we'll see when Facebook, in their infinite wisdom, decides to, potentially, update these numbers. Anyway, point is, we scaled this thing up, and we've noticed that it basically start to hit a law of diminishing returns. This 2.43 on the week actually translated to, we're getting a little high on the by day number. And their CPMs are starting to reach, and you can see there's a big drop off. At $500, we hit 10. At $1,500, we hit 15. This is starting to reach a point where it's an issue. So part of broad retargeting is also focusing on understanding where you have market opportunity and where you need to. Sorry, hold on a second here. I got to put this thing on do not disturb for an hour. All right. Where you have opportunity and where you need to begin to focus on where you need to expand. So this original ad, image ad, hitting the broad retargeting audience. What we've done is something I recommend to everybody. And we just started out. So let's go last 7 days here. Actually, I think we can do it here's more appropriate because we're actually comparing things. And it's going to get too messy. We'll just do it here. Let's go last 7 days. Now, last 7 days, when we look at everything, this ad spent $1,300. What we've been seeing, let's break this down by day. Here we go. Boom, boom, boom. Awesome. What we're seeing is these new ads launch. This one is starting to take off. This is, yesterday, today. If we looked at today's results, this thing is earning more and more spend. Now, the frequency is less. The CPM is less. This is a video ad. What I did is I reached out to the members of Disruptor Academy, and I was like, hey, if you're having a positive experience, let me know. Right? So I was able to get videos from those individuals. And I'll present one of them here in a minute. But we were able to get videos from those individuals to talk about their experience, which is tremendous because it allows our customers, in their own words, to attract the attention of other people. So I want to just kind of show you one of these and then show you how this fits into everything else that we're doing. All right. So let's just pick one here. This is Renee.
My name is Renee Harris, and I have been part of the Disruptor Academy for less than a month, but so far I have already just packed so much in. I have been following Charlie since it's been about 6 months, and I found him on YouTube. I binge watched a lot of his YouTube videos. I started to understand some of his ways of setting things up differently. So learned all about the 322 and the flexible ads and trying to understand all of the acronyms. And I run an e-commerce skincare business. So for me, having to get into the tech stuff, I enjoy, but it's also very hard. And so even though I've run Facebook ads for quite a while, I really wanted to understand them better. We've had times where we've outsourced that to agencies, and then there's times when I've brought that back in and tried to learn it all myself. And already, the best thing about being inside a Disruptor Academy like Charlie's is that you have not just access to Charlie himself, which is absolutely amazing, but you have so many people in there that, for me, are way further along than I am, and I just feel like I'm learning so much from them. And I try to offer value on different areas like email marketing or affiliate marketing or something else that I can offer because I feel like I'm the one getting so much value out of it. It's very fun too. There are just the weekly calls, and Charlie will answer any questions that we have. So for what it costs, which is hardly anything compared to the value that you get, is absolutely amazing. I already made one big adjustment, and it was a big win for me to set up an ad using an ad template, actually more inspired by the ad templates that they have inside the academy. And I redid some ads, and they are doing 5 times better than what I had before. So that plus all of the experience and wisdom of the people in the group is just amazing. So I highly recommend anyone join the Disruptor Academy and just be part of the group, because it is just one of the best. I feel like it's like a mini mastermind, no, major mastermind group that we're in. So join the academy. It is amazing.
There we go. So yeah, like that's the kind of stuff that's been really awesome to see. Now, that ad, the reason I'm showing you that is if we go down to break down just this week, that host has actually been doing the best. Now, I showed you that and don't worry, Gal, we're going to cover that, Jesus. It's 100% bullshit what you've been told. That ad is actually starting to come in, and if you see it, $2, $5, $9. Now the CPM is going up and the frequency is going up. The platform is trying to understand who to show it to. There's Tim. Tim, I almost showed yours. Yours, by the way, Tim, is number 3 out of the ads coming out. So I really appreciate your video. Tim is hitting it massive wins in the Disruptor Academy, and it's great to see him. But the point of this is what we're doing is we're saying, as we scaled up the budget here on this thing, up to $250 a day, it started to struggle to become incremental. The value of that image post against that audience, it didn't fatigue. Remember, audience fatigue. And this is why we need to understand this is a retargeting strategy. Audience fatigue is almost always complete nonsense. Ad fatigue is almost always operator error. Now, one of the aspects of our broad retargeting is that people that have been to the website and have engaged with the account in either a Facebook or Instagram account for Disruptor School or CT the Disruptor in the last 30 days. What that means is that audience is also recycling and getting new people on a daily basis. Now, why that's important is if you see when we start to pull back the budget, this ad is excellent for a certain group of people. And what's happening, happy Friday in the Ozarks. There you go. There we go. I love it. What we're seeing is once we allowed this ad to have a video be the first touch point, it got a lot better on CPMs because people liked actually seeing the ad more. The frequency kind of held even though the budget came down. So it's still a retargeting ad within our funnel. And that's what we're going to really get down today is what is a retargeting ad? What is a retargeting audience? What is a remarketing effort? And what is the customer journey? Because all of those things are actually very different. Now, a retargeting ad and the way that the platform uses it, again, is something that we can see according to the 4PI analysis. Frequency is high, CPM is high. I expect your efficiency to be high, meaning that your CPA will be low. If the frequency drops or the CPM drops, you're more or less moving up funnel. Lee, I hear you. There's so much volatility in Meta at the moment, and here's the truth. That's actually not true at all. It's mostly operator error and poor data management. And that's one of the reasons we're talking today about the retargeting stuff, because to be completely fair, most people aren't leveraging this when they don't have the ad spend to really be worried about anything else. And that'll also get to Joshua's question here. So the reason that I want to bring this down is because we're going to talk about a lot of other data, but I want to show just what's going on here. This ad scaled up, was great, had great success. It got to a place where ultimately the frequency was kind of capped out. The CPM got up to 60s. This ad ultimately only appeals to a certain group of individuals that are market and brand aware. This ad is a great close. The problem with the great close is that sometimes you need a handshake. Sometimes you need a hello. Now, we've been leveraging organic to do that, but we've also found that going from $18 a day to 250, we've kind of found an issue with the efficiency at which we can scale the handshake. the efficiency at which we can scale the close. So the beautiful thing is now we've been introducing these videos, and again, $100 CPM. I imagine when it spends more than $1.70, this number is going to change. These are not terribly accurate numbers. I just want you to see, or actionable numbers. I just want you to see this video that has Renee's video, this flexible ad 322 that has Renee's video in it is actually doing really well. And just to, full disclosure, because that's what we do here, right? We've got a website ad, purchase event, right? Nothing fancy. There's no spending limits. We don't have any of that hacker nonsense. We've got our broad retargeting audience. And again, we're going to break down after this what makes a broad retargeting versus a remarketing audience versus the customer journey, and how to think about your ads as something where the world exists as something bigger than you, right? And we're targeting Australia, Canada, UK, Ireland, New Zealand, United States. That's my core audience of basically decent strength economy, English speakers with strong e-commerce and lead gen and print on demand cultures. Those people really respond to what I do. And I know that because I look at my analytics on YouTube and my site traffic, and it's basically all of this plus India. Unfortunately, with India, we have two problems. One, all of the live classes are in the middle of the night. So it's not a great user experience, and I've tried that before. Also, a lot of the folks are trying to figure out how to do it, but unfortunately, their economy isn't strong enough for them to make that investment. That is my tier 2 market. Right now, I'm just going after tier 1. What is the lowest hanging fruit? When I need to expand beyond this, I will. And my first 2 markets that I'll be expanding to are the Philippines and India and Mexico. I guess 3 markets that I'll be expanding into. Now we got 1865 plus, no advantage plus audiences, none of that nonsense. And we go down here. Let's get to the ad level, the actual ad level. And here we see we got the Renee thumbnail. There's Tim over there, right? There's the Renee video we just watched. There's Tim here. We got our primary text. We have our headlines. And I'm going to show you a video here in just a moment of how I built all these ads and where it all comes from and how I've actually set up my school to scale. So if anybody wants to run any community, be it school or Go High Level, Discord, YouTube, Facebook groups, whatever it is, literally step-by-step everything I did to set it up so that you can copy and paste your way to success following what I'm doing. But today's lesson is about that only Facebook ads retargeting strategy that you need. So let's break that stuff down just so you can see what's going on here. And yes, the Renee is the one that's kind of taken off right now. And I'm sure that as soon as this begins to get a sale, we're going to see the CPM numbers come down on the video. We're going to see the frequency numbers potentially stay the same on this static image, but the efficiency improve because there's more. It doesn't have to be top and bottom funnel in the way that the system is using the ads. All right. So with all that being said, let's get to this real quick. Now, there are 3 different ways of looking at the funnel or the customer journey or remarketing. Now, let me tell you the 2 ways that you've been taught to think about it, and let's debunk those and tell you what actually matters. The first one is the customer journey. You have to make somebody product aware or problem aware, and then solution aware, and then let them know that you have a brand and a fix and like you have to say, hey, by the way, your feet are cold and getting shredded up outside. That's probably an issue. Here's all the reasons that's a problem. Let me then push on all the pain points of the blisters on your feet and the fact you're getting cuts and all this other stuff. Then we let you know, by the way, there's a solution for that. And it's actually going to make your life great. We have these things called shoes. And if you're interested in shoes, here's what our shoes look like. Here's what other people's shoes look like. You might spend thousands in medical bills, or you could spend $50 on this fine pair of sneakers that are actually also kind of cool. You should buy from me. That is basically, the IDA strategy. A lot of folks think that you have to do all of those steps with your Facebook ads, right? You have to show some people that there is a problem, then show them that problem is a pain point, then provide them a solution, and then sell them on buying that solution from you. The honest truth is that's complete nonsense. Now, the reason that's complete nonsense is because consumer behavior buying decisions are not Well, I hate people say all the time, oh, well, our customer journey is about 7 days. Nonsense. Our customer journey is like 2-3 weeks. Complete nonsense. A customer journey is somebody's entire life. That is what actually matters. And why that's really important is you have no control over somebody's whole life. The reason that I'm wearing this shirt, right? The reason that I'm wearing this hat has very little to do with the ad for this hat. Now, mind you, the ad for this hat didn't sell me on it, but I'm very familiar with what Play Renegade means. I've been a Pittsburgh Steelers fan for much longer than the period that this business was around trying to sell me this hat. I've bought Pittsburgh Steelers merch for years. By the way, this is a Pittsburgh Steelers thing. If you're a Steelers fan, this means a lot to you. Otherwise, you would have no idea. Why would you? I even got Pittsburgh Steelers merch back here, right? That's a terrible towel. That's Pittsburgh Steelers stuff. The point is this. When I saw this ad, I may or may not have been in market to get this ad, but I absolutely was a customer shopping around for more merchandise, just trying to fill a need. What that means is that ad came in at the very end. Sorry, we'll go this way because of the reverse. That ad came at the very end of my customer journey. It was not what made me a football fan. It's not what made me a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. It's not what made me interested in buying merch or getting anything else or a hat. It's the thing that came in at the 11th hour, the very last step of that cycle. So I want you to understand that your marketing exists effectively at the very end of the customer journey. It's not in the middle. It's not in the top. Your customer journey isn't 7 days long. It's 30 years, 40 years, right? It's decades long. Now, second thing we want to get to is remarketing. Now, you'll see a lot of folks, including me, say you should not spend money on remarketing audiences, retargeting audiences, right? You should not be focused on that. And the honest truth is that there's a lot of validity to that statement that you should be aware of. But there's some definitions here that we need to cover. The first one being that it's very different to say, in our case, broad retargeting around site traffic for the last 30 days and people have engaged versus what you've been taught to do, maybe with your rebuttal upsells, if you've been paying attention, or with DPA ads. But with most people say, well, they've been to my site, they abandoned cart, let me hit them back up again. Abandoned cart or a view content or somebody else in that vein where they've shown a level of intent, and because of that, you're retargeting them, you're remarketing to them. Those people, which in this case we're going to call a remarketing audience, those people overwhelmingly have already made the decision to not buy. That's just the honest truth. You don't close a majority of your add to carts. That's just not the way it works. Now, if let's say you get 100 add to carts and 30 purchases, you're not doing bad, but that also means 70% of the people have decided not to buy from you. To be fair, I would say that probably of the 30 people who are going to buy from you, probably half of them bought on day one already. Like they just closed to begin with. So that means out of 100 folks, 15 already bought. So the remaining remarketing audience is 85. 15 of those people have already chosen that they've already said that we're not interested. We're not going to buy. Or sorry, the other 18, the other 15 are interested in buying, which means 70% of those 70 of those 100 people, now 70 of the 85 people, have already decided they're never going to buy from you. The point of this is the vast majority of people that you spend your money on showing ads to do not want to buy from you. The vast majority of the people who have already said no meant it. Now, it's not all of them. So what I want to really drive home here is that your classic retargeting or remarketing audiences are what we call a bottom of funnel audience, where you're just hitting people who have the highest level of intent, but just didn't buy yet. You got to get them across the finish line. The vast majority of those people are not interested. Now, to answer Rainis's question here, that why then retargeting audiences are usually the most profitable? Well, they're not. If you only look at the ad spend on that person for that transaction, yeah, they're pretty profitable. But when you take into account the amount of money and time and resources it took to get somebody to the finish line, and then you just say, well, I'm not going to account for anything other than when somebody's coming to my website ready to buy, well, then you discount most of the things. That profitability that you see on a retargeting audience, a retargeting campaign, like my add to cart for the last 7 days, I'm just going to send them a discount and they buy it at 5x ROAS. Here's the thing. You're not counting the fact that it might have cost you $50 in marketing to get that person to say no to you 3 times. And then you're going to maybe discount the product 20% to get them over the finish line, plus send them some Google ads, maybe a couple of emails. You're doing some organic marketing content. The operation cost to get somebody from I'm maybe interested, but not quite over the finish line is much higher than the attributed ad spend to that sale, which is, again, why ROAS is complete nonsense, right? Like, if you still think the ROAS matters, you have to understand that ROAS, revenue divided by ad spend, is an inaccurate number, revenue, because we know that the purchase conversion value is not 100% accurate. It's not, neither is it accurate nor up to date or on time. But also, the ad spend today is not the reason that sale happened. In fact, the way we know this is if you turned off all of your ads today, odds are you get a sale tomorrow. At least one, maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe 1 next week. And if we know that that happens because your ads impact people, not everybody buys immediately, and most people don't fuck at hello, then we also know that a lot of the sales today are from ads spend yesterday or last week or last month or last year. And it's not just ad spend on the platform, but it's the impressions they're getting not only from your business, but from all the other ones. And going back to drive this point home, when I was running the ads for New Balance, I just reference this all the time, so I just want to kind of go to it. We could talk about it with other brands too, but just this is a very commonly referenced data point, and it's commonly referenced by me and the Facebook reps and a lot of marketing educators around the world. 2/3 of our ad spend, when it was an impression, when it was prospecting for us, hit somebody who had abandoned cart on one of our competitors. So for us, it's a top of funnel ad, but for that person, they were at the very end of the customer journey. So let's do this one first. They were at the very top of the funnel, but they were at the very end of the customer journey. For us as a retargeting ad, for us as a prospecting ad, but for them in market is a retargeting ad because we were one of 12 shoe companies trying to sell them. And Facebook saw, oh, this person's clicking on a bunch of shoe ads. They're not buying. Maybe they're interested in yours instead. So, hey, first impression to this other person, they're bottom of funnel in their consumer behavior. Their customer journey is almost to the end. Their credit card is out. And you're hitting them with a prospecting effort, maybe because they've been to your website one time or because they might be aware of you, or maybe they've never heard of you before and just that ad at that time is the right touch. And they're like, oh, this looks interesting. Let me check it out. And they close. Now, to be completely fair, that happens a lot more in apparel than it does in other products because apparel is often purely aesthetic. And so it's just like, you're looking for something. Oh, this t-shirt is funny. I like that. I'm going to buy it, or whatever it happens to be. In this case, this hat. I saw this foam hat at a game. I would look for it for 1.5 years. I got served an ad for it. I clicked on it. I didn't buy because I was like, oh, it's kind of dumb. I got an email. I searched for it again. And then over the next week, I saw like 3 or 4 DPA ads. And eventually I bought. Now, you could say, according to this retargeting campaign, it's hyper profitable. That last campaign where it might have hit me because I had abandoned cart yesterday was hyper profitable. But it doesn't take into account the entire customer journey that got me from understanding that the game of football exists into wanting to buy this hat. And you don't have control over most of that stuff. So when it comes to the Facebook ad strategy that you actually need, we need to understand that there are unit economics at play. So let me tell you this. The reason that this is working so well, and full disclosure, we're in for about 2,000 in ad spend or up to 11,000 in revenue, with 7,000 of that being reoccurring revenue. And I've made over $25,000 off of the people that have joined Disruptor Academy on consulting calls, joining Inner Circle, or jumping into the Facebook Ads MBA program. So I'm basically like $35,000 in revenue over the last 3.5 weeks on a little over 2,000 in ad spend. If you want to see the numbers, right? The reason that works is because I'm using a proper retargeting strategy. I'm not focusing on people that already said no. So let me break this down for you. If, for instance, you get 10,000 people to see your content over the last month, right? That's 300 people a day. That's not a lot, okay? So let's say it's 10,000 people have seen your content in the last month. Let's say, let's make the math easier. Let's say 9,000 people have seen your content. One more time. Let's say 9,500 people have seen your content and engaged with it in the last month, and 500 of them went to your website. We have an audience of 10,000 people. Okay, I got you, buddy. Don't worry. We're gonna land this plane. Okay. If I have 9,500 people engaged in my content and 500 people come to my website that are different than that 9,500, I basically have a broad retargeting audience of 10,000 people. Now, you might have, out of that 500 people that have been to the site, let's say 250 of them checked out a product page. So our view content audience is 250. And let's say out of that, we have 100 add to carts that didn't buy, right? So out of 10,000 people who have been to our site or have engaged with our Instagram or Facebook account, we effectively have 100 people who abandoned cart. Now, I could make the choice to say, I'm going to do what you've been taught to do by folks that focus on email and Google, because those are bottom of funnel and retention marketing platforms. What you've been taught to do is say, well, these people have intent. Let's just target them. The problem is, if you hit 100 people that abandon cart, your CPMs on that audience might be $100, and maybe your frequency is like a 3. That means you have to spend $300 to roughly hit every one of them once. Here's the point. If instead you did a broad retargeting effort where your CPMs were closer to 30, 40, let's even say it's $50. But instead of hitting everybody 3, 4, 5, 10 times, you hit everyone on average twice a week, maybe 1.3 times a day or something like that. You're going to reach thousands of people. Now, that 100 or so people that abandoned cart, they're in that thousands of people audience. But if the machine knows that that person has just no interest in buying from you, they're not going to see your ads more than once or twice. You're not forcing your ads onto people who are already declaring that they're not interested. And why this really matters is because instead of wasting your money really pissing off a small group of people, you're allowing the platform to show it to some of them, and some of that's going to be good money, some of it's going to be bad, but you're also showing your ads to thousands of other people who are already brand and product and solution aware. They just haven't made the choice yet of, do I want to buy or not? And so broad retargeting, what we talk about here with the site traffic the last 30 days and engagers, we are hitting the same 100 people that you were, plus 9,900 others for cheaper. I can reach the same 100 people you will, plus thousands of other people. And I can do so at a much lower CPM. And what really matters when you get to CPM is actual cost per, not 1,000 impressions, but cost per 1,000 account centers reached. If you actually look at your cost per 1,000 account centers reached, here mine is at, I think I was sharing my screen, is like $45. If I were to do just an add to cart over the last like 7 days or 30 days, it'd be 300 or 400. Now, why this really matters is twofold. One, if I can reach thousands of people that might be interested for the same price where you reach 100 people where the vast majority of them are not interested at all. If we spend the same amount of money to do that, odds are I'm going to get a lot more sales than you will. just off of that ad spend alone. Second, the ads that I'm running outside of that retargeting campaign are going to be more efficient because remember, Facebook is measuring your relationship with the platform. If you are a liability to somebody's experience on the platform because you are hammering people with ads trying to force them to buy, well, the immediate reaction is Facebook's going to say, well, you don't care about me. There are other advertisers that give a damn about my customers. Because remember, you're running ads on Facebook is a privilege. You getting your content shown in somebody's feed is a privilege. Nobody wants to see your content. It's a billboard in the sky. It is a burden unless you make your content interesting. Now, if you can create a lean-in experience with your content, Facebook's going to say, oh, wow, look, you give people a positive experience. And that Charlie guy, just everybody hates him. Nobody's going to look at his content. So if you're investing heavily in an audience where the vast majority of people have no interest in seeing your content, you are pissing off a lot of people with the majority of your money. That's making all other marketing efforts far less effective and more expensive. Otherwise, you could say, well, I'm going to use the same advertising, but I'm going to show it to just people that are already brand aware. And if you've been to my website, you probably are already product and solution aware, right? You are already aware of what the problem is, right? Like if you go to Disruptor Academy, you know who I am. You know what digital marketing is. You know that you're interested in learning how to do this stuff in a way that will actually like give you confidence and scale your business, like Renee talked about earlier. You're just deciding if I'm the right person. But instead of hitting up everybody that says, you know what, I'm not interested in Charlie. Why am I seeing his ads 3 times a day? Why is he investing everything in it? Well, I could say, well, the profitability is good. Or I could say, instead of pissing you all off, I could just reach thousands of other people where some of them haven't made that decision to tell me to fuck off yet. And there's a lot of folks that haven't made the decision on whether or not they're interested. And I can get dozens of people to buy from me at the same cost that you're going to get dozens of people to be pissed off. And why that really matters is if you win at retargeting with an add to cart like 3-day or 7-day or 30-day audience, great. Can you get that from $18 to $250? Can you get that from $250 to $2,000? Can you scale that? Well, the answer is no, because your entire business is more or less completely built on you pissing off people who are already aware. And as a result, the platform is going to make it more and more expensive for you to try to reach anybody. That makes no sense. You're basically just an abusive asshole trying to trick more people into giving you money. And the platform's like, wow, this person's a douchebag. I'm going to make sure that they don't get to, none of my customers see anything they have to say. And then you're going to say things like, Facebook's really unstable. I'm having trouble getting new customers. Facebook doesn't work as a top of funnel platform anymore. I have to launch 1,000 ads. And ad fatigue is something I have to deal with. Ad fatigue, those problems are created by the marketer because they're not treating the relationship with respect. And if you don't treat the relationship with respect, if you don't give your partner what they need from you to have respect for you, then you should not expect for them to give you anything in return that you're going to be happy with. Now, let me show you how I did all this. Want to grow your group with Facebook ads? This video is perfect for you. Today, I'm going to share my screen and show you the 3 simple steps, step by step, so that you can skip the guesswork and scale your bank account.
Consistently make you money.
I'm going to use my school community as an example, but this also works perfectly well for your Discord, your Go High Level, Kajabi, Kartra, Circle, or any other platform that allows a Facebook pixel. I'm also going to show you how to make sure that your pixel is set up properly, what audiences to use, and how to make ads that scale. I've even included down in the description a free tool that I'm going to show you today to write all the ads for you. If you join my community, you can also get all the templates we're going to use too. 100% free. This is going to cover everything from pixels to audiences to ads, everything you need to succeed. Let's go! So I just want to say thank you so much.
Salute me, familia.
If you're one of the people that has binged this channel and has not yet subscribed, go ahead and do it. Apparently 65% of the people that binge this channel have not yet subscribed. So if you like this video, go ahead and like it. If you love this channel, go ahead and
Subscribe below.
also, if you look in the description down below, you're going to see a link to the free tool that we're going to use today to do all the copywriting for us. And yeah, you heard me right. I now have a community on School. So you're going to see a link down for Disruptor Academy there as well. Now, if you have all the copywriting, but you need creative, we also have dozens of templates for you to get for free, including the ones that I'm using to scale my school. All right, let's get started. So first, we need to make sure that your ads are measuring results properly, because if you can't measure what you're doing, you're flying blind. First thing, we got to go to the Event Manager on Facebook. So in the Facebook Business Manager, we can see this All Tools section, and up here we'll see Events Manager. Now this is going to load up another screen that shows us our pixel and a bunch of other information. What we really need to do here is just click on this, boom, and in this spot, we're going to be able to know our pixel ID number and everything else to connect it to our platform of choice, because it's available right here. All right, so that being said, let me show you how to connect it on School, and all the other platforms are basically the same. Okay, so this is my brand new school, and yeah, I'm like 5 or 6 days in, maybe 200 in ad spend, and we've got, 133 members at $97. Not bad. All right, so anyway, in here, what we're gonna do is go to plugins, and then at plugins, we can scroll down and see the meta pixel tracking, hit edit, and this is where we would copy and paste our pixel ID. Now, for every platform, there's a different version of this. My best piece of advice is to look at the FAQ section for that platform. Now, because this is School and set up really well, you get a couple of events out of the box. What we have here is a page view event, meaning somebody has viewed a page within our group. We also have a complete registration, which means they signed up if your group is free. And we also have a purchase event, which in case somebody actually spends money, we want to track that as well. Now, to make sure that this is set up and turned on, we want to make sure that this button is clicked, and we can confirm it here with the connected. Now, to make sure that this all works, you have to go back to Facebook and verify that it's getting the traffic. And that's actually really easy. We're going to go back to the Events Manager, and we go over to here, the Websites section, and you'll see here the list of websites that your pixel is installed on. I've set this up a while ago, and you can see that I have 2.9 thousand events. That's all that matters. We are tracking, and everything is good to go.
Let's fucking go.
So now that we have that set up, let's talk about the audiences you should be using. If you're building a group, especially if you have any kind of social media following, what I recommend is broad retargeting. Broad retargeting basically means site traffic from the last 6 months, or anybody who's engaged with you on your social media in the last year.
525,600 minutes.
Let me show you how to build that. So if we come back to our Business Manager, we can go over here to Audiences. Love it. We're going to create a custom audience. We're going to go Website, Next. We can go over here to this Audiences section. Now in here you have source, events, and audience retention. So our source is our pixel, mine's the CBT4 pixel. And our events, we're gonna do all website visitors. And for our audience retention, we can go up to 180 days. Now, classically what we call this is a WCA 180. That means website custom audience for the last 180 days. Let's go ahead and hit create. Now, when that's done, we also want to make that Instagram engager audience that we talked about. So let me show you how to do that. We're going to go to create custom audience. We're going to go to Instagram account and hit next. And we can say everyone who engaged with this account in the last 365 days. Great. And so we can do here DSIGENG365. That is Disrupt Your School Instagram engagers from the last 365 days, and hit create. Now, when we run our ads to these two audiences, this is warm traffic, and it makes it a lot easier to get them to join our group. Side note, if you're running ads on YouTube, you can do all of this the exact same way, just the UX is a little bit different. So now let's talk about copy that converts. One of the biggest issues that people have is writing really good ad copy. They make the mistake of either being really dreamy and completely non-actionable, or they just list out a whole bunch of features and benefits, which really doesn't get the job done.
It's a no for me, dog.
So to make this easy, as a really bad copywriter myself who needed a lot of help to spend a couple $100 million, I built a tool that I use every single day. And we're gonna use the tool today, as well as some of the data from our group, to write absolutely killer ads. templates. First, we're going to go to the 322 method ads copywriter. On these buttons, you have start with your LP, previous winning ad copy, video transcription, or tell me about your offer. So let's click that. So here what I'm going to do is simply say to my machine, I'm going to give you customer feedback as well as posts from our community so that you can write ads that sound like my customer. So now let's go get that feedback. So in my community, we have a start here, introduce yourself section. So we're going to scrape that so that we can write ads that appeal to our target customer, because these are 133 people who've already made the decision to join. And for that, we're going to go ahead and click on this section here. We can scroll down a minute, and then we can just copy this and just click and copy just all the way down. There we go. This is people describing who they are, why they joined, where they're coming from, what their problems are, and what they're excited about. This is perfect for an ad. So once we have that all copied, we can go back to our GPT, simply paste it, boom. So now the machine knows what we're looking for, and you can see it here, great insights on your community. Is there something specific you'd like to promote? And we're gonna say, yeah, join Disruptor Academy. Now the machine is also smart enough that if you wanted to go here and just grab this URL and drop it in, it's going to contextually understand the call to action, which is join Disruptor Academy, and use the link to reference the website to add more context to our copy. So next, it's going to ask us to confirm some of the things here and key hooks or struggles or offers or urgency. And we just want to tell them to get people to sign up. Now it's going to come up with a bunch of ad headlines. So we only need to pick the 2 that we like, and then it'll write copy to join it so we can make a 322 ad. For me, I think I like number 2, and let's go with number 7. Fantastic. So now it's going to write us copy for that. Look at that. Just really that easy. You can copy and paste your way to success. Now, if you notice, one of the things about this copy is it doesn't sound overly salesy. It sounds like a legitimate, real person. And because we're using the words of our target audience, it sounds like the people who are in there. So when somebody joins, they're going to feel at home, which is perfect.
Home is where the heart is.
So instead of writing ads that sound like, join my Facebook ad group, we have real, legitimate, consumer psychology-based insights leveraging ads that have spent hundreds of millions of dollars to write copy that'll convert for us right out of the box. And remember, if you need ad creative, if you join Disruptor Academy, we're giving over 70 creatives on Figma and Canva for you to use right out of the box. You can do this. You can copy and paste your way to success. So now you know how to scale the group on Facebook ads. Make sure the pixel is set up right, use broad retargeting, and use this tool to make writing ads super easy. And if you need any other help, go ahead and drop your questions in the comment section below. Maybe join Disruptor Academy if you'd like. There's a 7-day free trial, and you can steal all the templates and then cancel if you want to. Go nuts! So with that being said, thank you all so much for joining this channel. This has been so incredible to see the massive growth that we've had here. And until next time, I'll see you on the internet. Bye!
Money will come and go. We know that. The most important thing in life will always be the people in this room. Right here. Right now.
There we go, gents and ladies. That is step-by-step everything that I've done to grow this business. And I wanted to show you, literally screen share, for the ads that I'm running right now that are actually spending, a couple $100 a day and making me a lot of, like I said, we're over 30K on this effort this month on, well, less than 1/10 of that on ad spend. So that's how it's all working. Now, we have 2 choices. You know what? Screw it. We're gonna go barn burner. All right, here we go. We got a lot of people that are asking questions that are also inside the Disruptor Academy. So we're just gonna try to get to that, and then hopefully we get to the comment section. Let's fucking go. Hold on a sec. All right, Joshua, why did you decide to go with organic rather than just running ads from the start and broad prospecting? That's because if you don't have a brand, there's no reason that anybody should buy from you. The way you make a successful business that is profitable is you get revenue, you earn trust, you develop a community, and then you sell them a product. You should be spending parts of your profit on running ads. Every dollar that I spend on Disruptor Academy came from revenue I made on Disruptor Academy without ads. It is completely bootstrapped, self-funded, and we've grown it over 10x in the last 3 weeks doing just that. All right. Yo, bro, from down under. Hola, there. You do lives? Yeah, damn straight we do. All right, could you use a strategy for a physical e-com product? I'm doing it all the time. Right now, we're doing this exact same thing for a business out of New Zealand that is in the skincare business, and we're literally just running engagement on our Instagram post to the United States market, hitting up the broad retargeting in that market, and we've more than 5x the revenue on the United States market in the last 10 days to the point of it's being 5 figures a day in sales, something like that. So like crazy. And that's not even accounting the recurring revenue coming from it. So yes, 100%. Also, if you want to see how other people are doing it, check out Dog Sauce and Dad Gang. That's 100% what they do. So does Skims. All right. Can you link me to your best vid on flexible ads, man? Check it out. The Facebook ads in 5. The most popular video is on 322 ads. There you go. Shout out New Zealand. Shout out New Zealand. There we go. Alan, what I find crazy is that people that come from engagement campaign actually convert. Anything besides purchase objective is often seen as trash traffic. Here's the thing. The engagement campaign just gets people who are interested in your content to see your content. If somebody sees your content and is interested in what you have to say, odds are they might buy from you. The idea, just like Apple, build a community, then sell them something. Apple, start with the why. Simon Sinek, Golden Circle, review that. That'll loop it all back for you. Okay. Hey, Zeus Miguel, what's your take on Meta's upcoming changes related to no longer needing to choose a campaign setup? I like it. All right. Is there a reason why you just ran the ads as uncut rather than the full thing, maybe editing it? The honest truth is, Joshua, because I don't know if the full thing is a bad idea. Editing takes time. Editing takes money. Why be edited? If I'm pushing across, part of the brand of what I do here is unedited honesty and full transparency. Now, I might find that some of these are better than others, and I might do some editing. But right now, right out of the box, you look at that, you're like, okay, if you're all interested in that video, you're probably knowing what we're talking about. You're probably saying, I don't know, maybe I'm interested. Maybe I might do this Disruptor Academy thing. Oh, here's Renee. Here's Tim. Here's, Josh. Here's everybody that's doing that. You know what? I've watched 5 of these things. I want that. And they join. Does it mean optimize review content? Eventually people will convert it for retargeting? No, do not optimize review content. We are not trying to optimize for upper funnel metrics in a conversion campaign. We are not prospecting with conversions. We are filling the funnel by doing brand development and then running conversion campaigns against the people who are already interested. We're starting with the low-hanging fruit and then scaling it up. Hey, Zeus, the rollout of ASC mandatory across all accounts is on the agenda. Opt out for now. It will never be something you are fully forced into doing. I know that firsthand. I've been talking to the engineering team. It is not on the roadmap. They've assured me 10 times, 6 ways from Sunday, and 3 times in written. They are not having any intention of making ASC mandatory. They know that ASC is different than normal, and there are advantages and disadvantages to it. ASC helps people that are new to marketing get good. It is a cheat code. It helps people who are F grade marketers get a C+. Also, it makes A+ marketers C+. That's what ASC is. All right. Hello from the Ozarks. Hello. Happy Friday in the Ozarks. I think that's coming from somebody that lives in the future in New Zealand. Okay. Lee, I feel like there's so much volatility in the moment. Here's the thing, Lee. There is a lot of meta volatility because people are struggling to try to destabilize the funnel and leverage bad data instead of building at where their money actually comes from and scaling that. Rainus, VSLs, yeah, they work. Of course they do. Then why are retargeting campaigns the most profitable? I think we already addressed that. I see what you're saying, but somehow it's even more confused. I hope we broke it down for you, Rainus. Eddie says, fucking brilliant. Bucking brilliant. Thank you, Eddie. Lloyd, completely agree. Essentially leaving on the money on the table when not doing broad retargeting and hyper-focused on the smaller audience. Yeah, and in fact, you're leaving money on the table by going just straight broad before you need to. Broad retargeting is easy enough to scale. We're bringing the brand to market in the United States, spending thousands a day against just broad retargeting, and it is scaling aggressively, like aggressively. You know what I'm saying? Like uncomfortably aggressive, and they're just making more and more money. All right, let's see. Raina, so for e-com, should I start with an ad set for prospecting and another ad set for broad retargeting? I would probably just start with broad retargeting, build up from there until you need to go prospecting. And remember, the broad retargeting is prospecting amongst people who are brand aware. That's the way you can think of it. All right. What's up with all the hate you get on Twitter? Honestly, Jesus, a lot of people refuse to listen to what I have to say, and a lot of people don't like the fact that I'm, willing to have a conversation with them. Built on me knowing what I'm talking about. Most people like to pick fights with people that are smaller than them and will just say yes. and they don't understand what I'm doing. And a lot of people think that I'm up to no good. But the honest truth is just my kung fu is stronger than them. And they've been basically quoting me for years and hating on me for it. And they're a very small group of very insecure dudes. That's my impression. All right. Tim says, what if we have 20,000 to 25,000 website visitors a month and only a few hundred followers, minimal organic content and engagement, maybe thousands of engagement on conversion base. I would not be focusing. Okay, here we go. How should we set up a broad retargeting audience for organic engagement campaign? I would be focusing on promoting my organic content where you say you have minimal content and engagement. Focus on that and also use the engagers there. In the video that I showed today, it was 365 days, but I actually used 30, just full disclosure. I've already shown you the settings. So I would build it up the last 30 days and just try to say, hey, in the last month or so, you were brand aware, interested in what I had to do and engaged with me. Did you know, by the way, also I sell things? Like if you get somebody interested and then trying to get them to buy from you is a lot easier. For instance, my buddy Dakota at Dak Sheets, as it were, from Dog Sauce, just did an Instagram account where he built up content around dog owners and then eventually sold something that dog owners would be interested in. And within 3 months of the product going to market, he had national distribution in Walmart. Don't overcomplicate it. Get people who are fans, sell them something. Don't start by selling and then hope to get fans. That's backwards way of doing it. Again, Simon Sinek's golden circle. Don't be IBM, be Apple. Okay. What do you think about people testing multiple ads to find winners? If some ads are not working, is it wrong to test more? We've talked a lot about testing. I'm not opposed to trying to test multiple ads to find winners. In fact, the ads that I have that are winners, I tested a lot of too. And you can go back and check out the other lives that we've done to kind of break down some of that process. I'm okay with testing more, but understand, do you have a problem? And the fun thing about broad retargeting is either the ads work or the offer doesn't. It is very easy to get sales from people who are in your broad retargeting audience because they're already sold on what you have to do. So you can more heavily focus on just closing the sale. You don't need your ad to be sexy. You don't need like a UGC. You don't need any of that stuff. My number one ad is literally a phone taking a picture of what the inside of Disruptor Academy looks like at like an angle on my laptop and then says, join, here's what you get. And that thing is crushing. Like, it's not sexy. I did it in no time at all. And I had AI write all the copy. And I'm showing you how I've done that. So, like, that works to everybody who's already ready to go already, right? Just get at the people who are already ready and then go up the funnel if you need to. All right. How should we set up a broad retargeting audience for organic engagement campaign? I would use this as an engagement campaign, promoting the post IDs of the audience that you have. This is where you could target broad, or you could make lookalikes of the followers and engagers and site traffic that you have and just focus on those folks. I'm gonna probably be doing more of an audience, more of a video on just like what that looks like, because we just had too many people ask that great question, Tim. So I love it. It's gonna go on the sheet. It's going on the wall as an idea right over there. I'm gonna make a list. Got a whiteboard. It's going on the board, Tim. I like it. If we set your pretty instructions, yes, you are showing it be to get us an audience that's large enough. The honest truth is that the audience is 1,000 people, can get 1 sale. If the audience is 3,000 people, you can get 2 sales. And the question is, how many sales do you need a day to be successful? Your audience just needs to be large enough for that to happen. And you need enough money to make that audience larger the next day so you can continue to scale the business. Get what you need, then try for more. That's kind of the easiest way of going about it. Alan says, how long should we expect for somebody to purchase coming from an engagement funnel compared to a normal broad purchase campaign? I don't expect anybody from an engagement funnel to buy. I am using the engagement to build up a brand assets, and I also don't care how long it takes somebody to purchase. You are not in control of that at all. It might take somebody 30 seconds. It might take somebody else 30 days. And for me to buy this hat, it took 1.5 years. Doesn't matter. You can't control that, so let's not worry about it. The question is, can you make an engagement funnel interested enough and engaged enough to find 1 person to buy from you, or 10 or 100, whatever it is that you need today? Dime says, I joined late. No, bonjour. Bonjour, Dime. Bonjour. All right. Raina says, is this and that? No, buddy, that's a video. We're posting those videos basically every Tuesday, although we're not doing it this Tuesday because we're launching a new channel on my birthday, which is a week from Sunday, and I'm really focused on just nailing that stuff, and I don't want to kind of get sidetracked, although I kind of regret not having another video at this point, but it's too late. All right. Josh says, so you run broad prospecting, broad retargeting together. Wouldn't it be confusing to see which campaigns moving the business? Yeah, it would be confusing. So just do broad retargeting. I can't send you money in here anymore. Please take my money. Dennis, join Disruptor Academy. I have demonetized my YouTube on the intent of just like, I was making a couple $100 a month and I was making thousands of dollars a week someplace else. I don't want to make it. I might change my mind later, but I was just like, yeah. I joined Disruptor Academy. That's all I can say. Hey, look, there's the QR code right there on the screen. Let me hide you. Boom. right there. There's the QR code. Take a look at it. Get your camera out. Come back, rewind, watch it. There you go. Boom. All right. Greeting from Turkey. Bonjour. My website audience I met is very small. Average daily visitors around 1,000. Hey, look, your audience at 1,000 is barely like I'm happy with 1,000 people. Can I get them to buy? Also, why not run engagement campaigns on your organic content so that you can build an audience of people who are interested in what you have to say, and the people who are interested in what you have to say, and you can build an audience of those people. Then it's a lot easier to sell them. All right. Sterling says, should a brand that is doing all broad prospecting through paid ads start doing broad remarketing? I would look at it. Depends at the scale. Look, if you've already solved broad and you're scaling that thing and it's consistent and it's stable and it's scalable, then I wouldn't necessarily backtrack to broad remarketing. But if you're struggling at a couple $100 a day, probably broad remarketing is the way to go. I fully intend to do broad remarketing until I cannot do it anymore because I've just maxed that thing out. It'll probably happen around $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a day. And at that point, I'm just going to go cold. But the honest truth is, if I'm at $2,000, $3,000 a day from something that is completely bootstrapped and self-funded, where I'm taking 40% off the top and then putting half the money in my bank account just to like run the thing, I'm going to be making $1 million just from that alone. I'll take that problem before even having to go prospecting at full broad. Ramus, if I start with only a broad retargeting ad set, how do we get that audience and that retargeting to be in the first place? Engagement ad set. If I have 0 followers, issue an engagement campaign to build up that audience. All right, Stephen Miller, if it's an upper funnel brand awareness engagement campaign, then retarget the conversion's okay. To run with the broad open DPA prospecting catalog, I'm totally fine with that. Stephen, if you're running DPA campaigns, getting people's attention because they're buying intent with the catalog product, I don't see the harm in it. Onward and upward, good friend. Godspeed. All right. I don't see the option for retargeting when I'm not selecting the catalog ad. You have to put this into, you hit original audience, not advantage shopping audience. And at that point, you just put in custom audiences. All right. So the engagement ad is an organic page post. Yes. Happy early birthday. Thank you, Sterling. Is this kind of ad set you would put on VA sell? I don't care what the landing page is. It's the kind of ad set I would run to anything. All right. Doing close to 10K a day on broad prospecting, but broad retargeting sounds interesting. What do you suggest? Honestly, Joshua, if you're doing $10,000 a day on broad prospecting, I don't think broad retargeting is the thing you should be doing. I think we should be having a conversation about the MBA program and getting you to $20,000 a day on broad prospecting. If you've already solved the problem, you don't need to go back. Okay. Sterling, how do you balance running ads for your own business, schools, running time management? And honestly, running ads takes like an hour a week per ad account. Like if you're spending more than an hour a week inside of your Facebook ads, you're doing it wrong. I'm spending 50, 100,000 a day from brands. Maybe I spend 2 hours, but like the Facebook ads is easy. Running the business is the actual like time suck. All right. Launch an image only campaign in the United States. Its frequency is 1.8 to 2. Is that per day or per week? First week performance is great. It died the following week. What could be the reason and how do you fix it? I don't know. First off, you ads generally do good and then they tank because Facebook goes up the low-hanging fruit. And then it says, great, you got all the easy wins. Now go out into the world and see where you work. You might go north, you might go south, you might go east, you might go west, and maybe north and east is where you get wins. So on the week after that, it stops going west and south and just starts making a lookalike audience closer to the north and east. And based on all of that, your ads have their own life cycle and eventually find more low-hanging fruit. And that ad builds a lookalike audience for itself and it scales into that. So it's very common for ads to do very well early, then tank a little bit and then come back, which is why the more ads you launch every single week, the harder it is for any of your ads to be successful. I will leave you with this analogy. For those of you that want to run a ton of ads, every single ad starts off hot because it comes straight close to home. Then it learns who works and who doesn't. And then it goes off into the greater world and tries to find out what works and what doesn't. It gets better and it gets worse. It learns from that and then ultimately it figures out how to be successful. A way for you to think about this is if you hired 100 salespeople and then let them run out for a week and you fired everybody who didn't get lucky. Then you say, great, I'm going to hire another salespeople the next week. But those 100 salespeople, they're only cold calling folks that already said they were interested. They're only retargeting folks that already said they're interested. They're only calling individuals that are already ready to buy. They're getting all the hot leads. And the people that got lucky last week, you're making them knock on random strangers' doors. And what happens is you're going to fire everybody that's not successful. Do you think if you're always giving the new employee the best chance of success and you're making it difficult for any existing employee to succeed at all, that you're going to keep any employees for more than a week or two? No, you're creating ad fatigue and you're going to suffer. Your CPMs are going to rise. You're not going to be able to get out of anything other than low-hanging fruit. Facebook's going to be really unstable and you're going to struggle in a way that you don't have to. That being said, stick around. We got a brand new channel coming out next week on Sunday. A ton of courses. The first one is nearly an hour and a half long of how to start a Facebook ad account from scratch, Facebook page, all the way up to the things that you need to scale and optimize and get yourself to a couple $1,000s a day. With that being said, Thank you very much, everybody. I'll see you later. Bye.